I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Hey, people who are just watching the video now, we have this graph, and we're gonna write the equation, and here it is. Okay, that was really crappy. Maybe I have a better video at home somewhere. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to figure out what A is, right? Because I got a little help, and you're like, oh, Miss T, is that a lot of work? It's not. It's the easiest thing ever. And here's what we do. We know this bad boy is X, and this bad boy is Y. So we're going to come up to this guy, and we're going to plug in X and Y, and it's going to be super, super easy. Are you guys ready to rock and roll with this? Okay, so now we're going to get the exact equation. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to not have Y anymore. We're going to plug in -8. Are you guys cool with that? Yeah? Next thing we're going to do, we're going to keep A, because that's what we're looking for. We want to know how skinny or how fat he is. So we're going to leave that A alone. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in 2 for X. And then we're going to plug in 2 for X. And then we're going to plug in 2 for X. And if you're thinking, where the hell did I get those? Right here. X and Y. Oh, for the people who are at home, X and Y. Guess what? Easy math. We got this. Are you ready? Let's clean this up. -8 equals, I'm going to take the A, and I'm going to make it really pretty. 2 times 6, 2 times 6 times -2. I'm going to say -8 equals A times -24. How do I get A by itself? What do I need to do? Any guesses? I want that A alone.
Divide.
I got to divide. Put your phone away in the back. Thanks, Chris. So guess what? We're done. A equals 1/3. Now, here's what. Everyone's listening in the back, especially guys. Half of my kids last year missed this question on the test. And here's what they did. They're like, A is 1/3. Done. The question will say, write the exact equation. So what you have to do is you have to go back to this guy and plug in the 1/3, and that is your actual answer. It bummed me out so hard to just keep marking people off because they're like 1/3. I'm like, no, I don't want to know what A is. I want to know what the equation is. How is that? Is that okay? We got this? Are we going to be okay? Yeah.
We're getting to a -8.
Yes, absolutely. So I will give you, I'll show you what it looks like. Actually, here comes your next problem. And it will look exactly like this. Look, I didn't write it up. La, 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 la. There it is. I will say, write the exact equation of this graph. So are you ready? Let's do it together. So the first thing I do is I start off with the possible equation. That's where I start. You ready? Here we go. Y equals, we're going to have that A there. Now, I know I hit there at 4. I'm going to do this guy over here. Boom, I'm doing him. That's X minus 4. But we're going to have to be careful with this guy. Sorry, let me make that even a little bit cleaner. Boom. What the heck is happening at -3? It's a bounce. And what do bounces mean? Squared. I got 2 of them, right? So you have 2 choices right here. You can do this if you're fancy, X plus 3 squared. That's totally great. Or if you're not fancy and you're like me, you can just write it twice, right? Probably not going to have a little on the test. Probably going to have that. So that is your possible equation. That's like the general one. Like, hey, that's a good example. Now with your table mates, plug in this guy, this 1, -4, or I'm sorry, -1, 4, and get the exact equation. You ready? Here you go. Will they all be nice numbers? Yeah, like little baby numbers? Yeah, because these are just little graphs. I'm not making giant graphs. I'm not going to kick your ass here. -1 minus 4, -1 plus 3, -1 plus 3, yay. 4 equals A. I'm going to get -5 times 2 times 2. 4 equals -20A. Divide by -20. Divide by -20. A equals -1/5. Okay, so here's what. Let's talk for a minute. Let's put this guy in here, this -1/5. Is everybody cool with where I got that? Did I lose anyone on that part? I just plugged in. Now, well, let's make sure this actually makes sense. Look at this guy. He's negative, isn't he? His life started good, but it ended badly. And look what happened. I got a negative number. It worked exactly like it should work. So if you're doing these problems and you get a graph that looks like this, and you know it should be positive, but your A is negative, that's a mistake, right? It checks itself. Does that make sense? Yeah? Now here's what's nice. What if we don't even want to do a graph? What if we just want to do it, just go straight into writing the equation? Can we do that? We can. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's take a look at this one. This is one of those ones that if you saw this on the SAT, you're like, I'm out. I can't do this. And now you're going to be like, oh, wait a second. This is really easy. So the first thing that we want to start with is the possible equation, right? So it's going to be y equals a times. Now it's telling you it's a cubic. So we're going to be looking for 3 little roots, right? We don't have to do anything with that. It's just a helper. It's just to help us out, right? So here we know we cross at 3, 1, and -2. So it's going to be x minus 3, x minus 1, and x plus 2. Is that easy? So easy. If you wanted to graph it to help yourself, you can, but you totally don't have to. Yay, that's the first one done. Now, the next one says we need a little bit of help here because we want the exact equation. So here's what it tells you. It gives you, there is a point on your graph. And you're like, Miss T, it doesn't give me a helping point. It does. It says it crosses the y-axis at 12. You know what that point is? 0, 12. Do I freak out about that? No, because I love 0. I love plugging in 0. So there you go. If you wanted to look at this graph, you could do this. You could be like, oh, wait, -2, 1, 3. Look what he looks like. Boom, boom, boom. Look, he hits right here at 12. So do me a favor. Plug in 0 and 12 and get the actual A. Get the actual equation. I'm going to do it along with you. 12 equals A, 0 minus 3, 0 minus 1, 0 plus 2. 12 equals A, -3. Yes, there are 3 x's. I heard that back there. That's perfect. Oh, 2. 12 equals 6A. Did you get A equals 2? Did you get 2? Everyone filling it? A equals 2? Is that the right answer? No. We got to go back to this guy and pop this guy in, right? Okay, big finish, big finish. Love this next one. Okay. This is going to have 4 little roots, 4 little parentheses. I'm going to give you a hint. In math, we don't really use the word bounce. When you bounce out of something, you touch and go. You touch right here and you go. And not, that's called tangent. It's tangent right there. That's a bounce. The word for wiggle is actually inflection. It's an inflection. Will I put that on the test? I will not. But tangent, sure. Okay, so get your initial one. Remember, Quartic says you got 4 little X's. So make sure you find all 4 of them. I got 1, I got 2, I got 3. Think about what that means. You got another one hiding in there, right? A tangent one. Give it a try. This is as bad as it gets. This is it. This is the end of the chapter. I'm walking around. I want to see everyone try this one for me. I like the fact that if I don't walk around you, do this last one. I'll leave you alone. Do the last one, I'll leave you alone. I didn't do the x minus 3x minus 2, right? It's tangent.
You got the negative 1.
Tangent into that.
Yeah.
Because let's see, I was just touches and Joe's like in geometry, it just touches right there. Yes. Huh? Because remember, whenever we have a balance, it's squared. X minus 3 squared. Oh, sorry, I should get 3. I just was making it painful, sorry. But I made that really confusing. How about this? There we go, there we go, there we go. Better? At cube, you have to say the other cube.
What is the AB squared?
Up to the 4.
What is the AB squared?
No, it's so here's the greater the degree, the less steep it is. So this would be like a squared, right? A 4th root ends up looking more like that. It kind of looks a little flatter. 5th root, 6th root, it looks more like that. Same thing with, so if it's to the 3rd, your rest looks like that. To the 7th would look flat. It's a flatter inflection point. In other words, your slope changes more dramatically. Good question. X, you can put X plus 0 or just X.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. X plus 0 or X, either one works great. Are we ready? Are we ready? I love these. I love these. Here we go. Let me clean this up. Let me erase this. La 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 la. Okay. Oh, what was that? Just clearing my thing off. Okay, so I always start with my possibility, right? So here we go. My possibilities. Y equals, got the A. Remember, I got to have 4 X's showing up. So Kathy and I were talking that 0 could be X plus 0 or just X. I always forget him. And we're going to have X plus 4, it goes in opposite. And then X minus 3. You can be fancy or you can be like me, because I don't know why the squares mess me up. Either one is fine. Squared is totally cool, right? That's my possibility. Let's make sure it's got 4 X's. Quartic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. I'm awesome. The quartic doesn't do anything. It just helps you, right? So now I'm going to plug in 1 and 10. Could not be easier. 10 equals A times 1, 5, -2, -2. 10 equals A times 20 divided. A equals 1/2. I go up here. 1/2. That is my final answer. Yeah? That's it. That's it. You have total time to finish in class, and I am going to give out some candy because I'm proud of you for being here. And I'm done. We're done with the chapter. Yay, us. Oh, you know what? I know you all did your homework on Friday because I gave time in class. I'd like to give you credit because that way tomorrow all those kids will be like, oh, will you check out my homework? And be like, nah, because I'm mean. I'm mad. So if you have that blue assignment out, and if you're listening at home, well, you know what? Do your homework, you big lazy slug. Okay, there we go. I'm done.